I guess this is it. Our lovely band. Man, you guys are really riding strong here. May 6th, 13 of us. I know that I usually post this video, so I'm just going to talk real fast and then we'll get into it. So obviously, Governor Murphy ended schools or ended the school year pretty much for all of us. And so for me personally, and this goes out specifically to the seniors right now, I'm really sorry. Obviously, this is not kind of how you guys drew it up. I don't know, for me personally, teaching, I've been teaching for a while. This has probably been one of my favorite years teaching, especially with these two econ classes. You guys kind of put up with a lot of like my experimentation. You bought in, and I thought we had a great year. And I thought we had done like a pretty good job of building a decent community inside of our classroom. So first, I want to say thank you very much. I appreciate it. I had a ton of fun having you guys in the classroom, and obviously I would love to have at least one more Zoom meeting with everybody to attend, so I can say goodbye to you guys and all this other stuff. But we still have some work to do. Okay, obviously we have to get you guys ready for the AP exam in the next 2 weeks. So there's that. Now, in terms of work for the class, only thing I require is the macro FRQs. There's no longer any more written requirement or assignments that you guys have to turn in for this class. Okay, that's by design. We kind of anticipated this day coming. I knew there weren't going to be any final exams if they had canceled them. And so as a result of that, I wanted to stockpile the work, if you will, early. And then kind of, this way I could pull my foot off the gas as I knew that your apathy level would kind of, hit its peak once the announcement came out. All right. So that's that. Okay. If you guys have anything at all, or if you have any questions, comments, complaints, or quite frankly, if you guys need anything, like I can't imagine what it's like for you guys right now. Obviously, you probably never realized, or for some of you, maybe you didn't realize how much school meant to you. But I know for me as a teacher, it means a lot. Obviously, a big part of it is the socialization point of being a teacher and going into school. So for that, I completely empathize with all of you, and I hope you are all doing well. If there's anything you ever need that I could ever do, which probably isn't much, but whatever it is, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's go over this. I thought this is a great example or a great look into the AP micro exam. Okay. And so kind of our first look at what these questions might look like. Now, they gave us an unofficial, kind of grading scale. So I can even tell you how much each question would unofficially be worth. And this is based off a teacher who's a 20-year veteran. He's a veteran AP reader. He does this stuff all the time. So he made the questions, and then he also made the point scaling, and then he also let you know, if it would be, what's it called? Let you know how much it would be worth and what you would need to get in order to get a 4 or a 5. Okay, so here it is. This is question 1. I projected it. Hopefully everybody can see it on their screen. So I'm not going to be using the whiteboard feature because we're just going to kind of go through this today with the 3 of us. Also, for those of you watching at home, hopefully you enjoy my quarantine cut here. I don't know if you've noticed. It's pretty awesome. My wife did a great job. I just have, we don't really know what to do with all this hair, so at least it's not all in my ears now. We gave my kids mohawks. It was like this tribal ceremony. It was
super clean.
It was a good time. It was a good time. All right. Anyway, I was actually trying to go for the flock of seagulls look, maybe an old school Friar Tuck as a punishment. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a long summer. It's 160 days at home with my children before school starts from when we started this until then. So who knows what's going to be like. All right. All right.
Some pretty good mohawks, man.
Yeah. just like a skunk line, just like a
one long strip.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm out.
You're going to drop your kids off at school and they're going to look at you like you're the dad.
No, this makes so much sense. It's like when teachers meet me, they're like, okay, I get it now. All right. Well, sorry. All right, here we go. Assume that a firm produces output using 1 fixed input, capital, and 1 variable input, labor. The firm can sell all of the output it produces at a market price of $3 each and can hire all the workers it wants at a market wage rate of $11 each. And has fixed cost of $10. it faces the following production schedule. Okay, so this question right off the bat, we look at it, we know, all right, we're just getting output, employees, we've been given some basic information. We're going to kind of have to fill out some charts here. All right, so first thing we're going to do, let's just go to the question and we'll kind of figure it out there. I'm a little bit of I did way too much work when I did this, and I actually filled out every single column from total cost, variable cost, fixed cost, marginal cost, all the way to like marginal product, total revenue, marginal revenue product, all that other stuff, and you don't need to do that. So we're just going to attack each question at a time, and we'll kind of talk about what you need to go through. All right. So A, and what kind of market structure does this firm sell its output, and how can you tell? This is a 1-point question, so you need the explanation. You need the second part to get the point. Okay. And it says the answer is perfectly competitive. And the reason being is because you can either say that they're price takers or the price is set by the market. Okay. So, and how do we know that? Well, the firm can sell all of the output it produces at a market price of $3. Okay. So if the firm takes the market price, it'll sell everything it produces. Perfectly competitive market. Okay. B, in what kind of market structure does the firm hire its employees? How can you tell? Same thing. You need both to get the 1 point. And the answer is perfectly competitive, and it's for the exact same reason. All of the workers it wants can be hired at $11, which means that all of the workers in that market are wage takers. Okay, so the market sets the wage rate, or they are wage takers is an appropriate explanation. That is also for 1 point. Okay, all right. C, using marginal revenue product analysis, how many employees should this firm hire to maximize short-run profits? How do you determine that? Okay, so we have to use marginal revenue product analysis. Well, we know we are going to hire. I almost just used an actual pen on my computer screen. Okay, we know we are going to hire where MRC is equal to MRP. Okay, MRP, I'm just going to write this on this document up here. MRP is equal to marginal product times price. So what do we need to do? We need to figure out marginal product. Okay, now I'm just going to read off those values just because it'll take forever for me to write them. Yeah, and it's not going to, it won't look nice on the document here. Okay, so our marginal product, again, marginal product is just change in total product, okay, over change in quantity. We have a 1 unit, okay, output or increments here, so it's real simple. So our marginal product is going to be 14 for 1, for 2 is 12, 3 is 9, 4 is 7, 5 is 4, and 6 is 2. Okay, so that's our marginal product. So then we need to figure out our marginal revenue product. Okay, and marginal revenue product is going to be equal to marginal product times price. Let me see if I can actually. 12, 7, 4, 2. Okay, and our marginal revenue product is going to be 42, 36, 27, 21, 12, and 6. Okay, yeah, that's way too long. I wrote way too big there, but we get it. All right. So now, using marginal revenue product analysis, how many employees should this firm hire to maximize short-run cost? Remember, our marginal resource cost, okay, is $11 all the way down. Okay, it's $11 for everybody. So we want to hire where marginal revenue product is equal to marginal resource cost. Our marginal revenue product of the 5th worker is 12. Okay, the marginal resource cost would be 11. I'm going to hire 5 workers. I'm not going to hire the 6th worker because the 6th worker's MRP is 6. Okay, so he's only generating $6 worth of revenue, okay, while he's working, but I'm paying him $11, okay, to work. So if he's not generating enough revenue, I'm not going to hire him. It's not worth it for me to hire him. Therefore, okay, I'm only going to hire 5 workers. Okay, that C is worth 2 points. Okay, so it's 5 workers, and then you get 1 point for that, and then you need 1 point for the explanation. And the explanation is because, okay, you're going to hire where the marginal revenue product is greater than the marginal resource cost. All right. Okay, now D, based on your answer in part C, how many units of output will this firm produce? And this is where I did way too much work. I was like, oh, okay, well, I need to figure out like marginal revenue equals marginal cost, all that other stuff. You don't need to do that, okay? And here's why. You know you're going to hire 5 workers. We know how much output 5 workers is going to give us, okay? So 5 workers is going to give us 46 units of total output, okay? So the answer for D is 46, okay? That's worth 1 point. E, at the level of output you identified in part D, is the firm earning an economic profit, a normal profit, or suffering a loss, and how can you tell? Okay. Oh, sorry, I have landscapers that just scared the heck out of me. Someone just a leaf blower right by my door. So at the level of output you identified in part D, is firm earning an economic profit, normal profit, or earning a loss? How can you tell? Okay, so in this case, we know that we have to assess the economic profit would be taking our total revenue, okay, and subtracting our total cost. We know that we are going to produce, okay, this is our level of output, okay, for total output. So now we just take each unit of output and we multiply it times $3. Okay, so our total revenue would be 40, yep, 2, 78, 138, 144. Okay, so if we going down our total revenue here, we go to the 5th worker. Okay, the 5th worker's revenue it's going to generate is $138. Okay, so we know that this we're going to make $138 here. Well, now we have to figure out what our total cost is, and they've given us all of the information that we need to figure this out. They let us know that the fixed cost is $10. So the fixed cost is $10 for every single unit. It doesn't change because it's a fixed cost. We now know, though, that each unit of labor is $11. So that means that each unit of output or labor hired, we're going to see an increase, okay, in our variable costs by $11. All right. The 5th worker is going to cost us $55 plus the $10 in the fixed cost. So our total cost here is going to be $65. So we take our total revenue minus our total cost. So it's 138 minus 65 gives us $73 in profit. We know that this firm is earning, okay, an economic profit, and that's because they have $73 of economic profit, and it's greater than 0. Okay. Another acceptable answer is just saying that total revenue is greater than total cost. But again, putting the math down is not a bad idea. Okay, E is worth 2 points. So 1 for saying it's earning a profit and 1 point for saying that it has $73 in profit by subtracting the total cost from the total revenue, or by saying total revenue is greater than total cost. All right. Now F, what is the marginal product of the 6th worker? We've done this. Okay, we did this already. We can just look back to our earning it. No, because that's just marginal revenue versus marginal cost at that level, at that unit of output. But profit is based on total revenue versus total cost. So it's a good question. So we know what is the marginal product of the 6th worker, and the answer is 2. Okay. All right, and that is A through F. That is our output. You know, I'm just going to scroll down. It doesn't really matter that it's all marked up. All right, here we go. So we've got a little game theory. This is fun. Okay, so we have 2 airline companies, AirTouch and Windward, operate a route from City X to City Y, transporting a mix of passengers and freight. They must file their schedules with the National Transportation Board each year and cannot alter them during the year. Those schedules are revealed only after both companies have filed. Each airline must choose between a morning and an evening departure. The relevant payoff matrix appears below with the first entry in each cell indicating AirTouch's daily profit and the second entry in each cell indicating Windward's daily profit. All right, so my advice, we're going to get this. Obviously, you're going to get this document. You're not going to be able to probably mark it up on your screen. If you can, that's great. If not, redraw the payoff matrix in your notebook, okay? And you can even cheat like I did, right? So you redraw the payoff matrix in the notebook, and you can use the 2 different colors to help you out. And we're going to do it on the screen right here, okay? So you redraw the payoff matrix, and you just go through, and you try to figure out on your own if anybody has a dominant strategy, okay? So let's start. Let's start with Windward, okay? So remember, Windward is going to be the second number in each box. If AirTouch was to go morning, what would Windward do? Would they go morning or evening? If AirTouch goes morning, okay, Windward would also go morning because $700 is greater than $600. So let's just circle that so we know that Windward would go morning. If AirTouch goes evening, what would Windward do? If AirTouch goes evening, Windward would also choose morning again. And the reason being is because 950 is greater than 800. Okay, now let's look at AirTouch. If Windward goes morning, AirTouch is going to choose morning, okay? Because $1,000 is greater than $750. So AirTouch would be morning. If Windward went evening, what would AirTouch do? AirTouch would then go evening. Reason being is because $900 is greater than $700. So right there, we've now marked off our payoff matrix. We now know a decent amount of information. One, we know where the Nash equilibrium is. Okay, the Nash equilibrium is both players are going to end up in morning. And we also know that Windward has a dominant strategy. They're going to go morning no matter what. We haven't answered any questions yet, but we've kind of done a lot of the work. Okay, so let's look at it and go into these questions. G, in which market structure do these firms operate and explain? The answer is obviously it's an oligopoly. The explanation you need to have is you have to mention something about how both firms kind of depend on each other. Okay, so obviously the great answer would say that firms are interdependent, okay, on each other for setting prices in a market. Or if you don't want to say interdependent, you could say, well, Windward will choose based on what AirTouch does and vice versa. Okay, so just kind of mentioning that the dependency on each firm on kind of each other and how they price out. Okay, that's worth 1 point. H, if Windward chooses an evening departure, which departure time is better for AirTouch? Okay, so if Windward chooses an evening departure, okay, what is better for AirTouch? We've done that already. We know that AirTouch will go in the evening. Okay, that's worth 1 point. Identify the dominant strategy for Windward. We did that already. We know that Windward is going to go morning no matter what. Okay, so the answer is morning. That's worth 1 point. For J, is choosing an evening departure a dominant strategy for AirTouch, and explain? Well, we already know that AirTouch does not have a dominant strategy, and the reason being is this, okay, and the explanation is this. This is worth 2 points. So one, you get 1 point for saying that is choosing an evening departure dominant strategy for AirTouch. You get 1 point for saying no, and your explanation has to mention something like this. I said no because morning, when Windward goes morning, okay, if AirTouch goes morning, it's actually better for them than if they were to go evening, okay? And so that's a simple explanation, or you can just say, well, AirTouch will make a decision based on what Windward does as opposed to just they're always going to do this, okay? So J was worth 2 points. K, okay, if both firms know all of the information in the payoff matrix but do not cooperate, what will be Windward's daily profit? Well, Windward would know it has a dominant strategy no matter what, and also AirTouch knows that as well. So AirTouch is going to go morning, Windward is going to go morning. Okay, so Windward's daily profit is going to be $700. Okay, all right, and that is question 1. Okay, so I believe question 1 is worth 13 points. Double check me on that. K was worth 1, J was worth 2, I worth 1, H worth 1, G worth 1, F was worth 1. All right, so that's question 1. So now let's look at question 2. Okay. All right, here we go. I think that's better for everybody, right? Okay. So use the graphs below to answer the questions. Make sure to explain your answer to receive full credit. Okay. This is a perfect competition question. Okay. This is pretty good. It's a nice, easy one. So let's kind of just go through it real quick. Okay. So the above graph shows the market for corn. The firm is operating in a constant cost industry. Okay. A, what type of market does Grand Farm sell their corn in, and explain? Okay. The answer is it's perfectly competitive firm. And you know that because the firm is a price taker. They're just pulling the price from the market. Okay. B, is Grand Farm currently earning economic profit, earning a loss, or are they at long run equilibrium, and explain? Okay. A was worth 1 point. Sorry. B is also worth 1 point. B, you need the explanation to get the point. Okay. So it is earning a profit, and you know that it's earning a profit because price is greater than ATC. Okay. C, in the long run, what happens to each of the following? C1 is worth 1 point. Okay, the number of firms in the industry. In the long run, firms will increase in search of. Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, could you slow down a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
My bad. Where do you need me to
It's
go?
all good. No, you're fine where you are. I was going a little fast. So it's like trying to write down when you're on the next question.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm not trying to keep you guys too long.
I understand.
I appreciate the feedback. So I'll go. I'll draw out C so we can know why it happens. Okay. So for C in the long run, what's going to happen? We know that the firm here is earning an economic profit. It's earning an economic profit because P is greater than ATC. So that gray little shaded in triangle actually represents our profit. Since there are no barriers to entry, firms, why can't I draw? Why is my pen all of a sudden not working? Really? All right. So we know that firms, okay, are going to be entering the market in search of profits. All right. When they enter the market in search of profits, okay, the supply of firms or the number of firms entering is going to increase. Yeah, I know. That's a really bad looking S. Okay. As a result, we're going to have this quantity. Does it just cut out while I'm using it? Whatever. Okay, we have that quantity and that price. So the supply is going to increase. It's going to shift to the right. Okay, because supply is going to shift to the right, now firms are actually going to take a new price and it's going to be a lower price. Okay, and then the lower price in the market means that the quantity that's going to be produced is going to change. I'm really sorry that my pen all of a sudden just stopped working. Let's try it again. Okay, and then our new price would be here, right? We have Mr. Darp. And that just cut out again. All right, I don't know what to do. All right, so we'll just leave it there for now. Okay, so in the long run, what happens? New firms enter the market chasing profits. It's going to increase the supply. If it increases the supply, then we know that the firm is going to take a lower price because price is going to decrease. So C1 worth 1 point is saying that firms will increase in search of profits. C2, the equilibrium price in the market, does it increase, decrease, or remain the same? C2, the answer is the equilibrium price decreases. Okay. D, is Grand Farm currently allocatively efficient, and explain? Just as a reminder, allocative efficiency is when price is equal to the marginal cost. productive efficiency, okay, is when price is equal to the minimum on ATC. So if we look at our graph here, and we're looking at where price is, okay, well, we're going to currently produce where MR equals MC. In a perfectly competitive market, price is equal to marginal revenue. So therefore, in this case, price is going to be equal to marginal cost. So for D1, is Grand Farm allocatively efficient? The answer is yes. And it's because price is equal to marginal cost. That's worth 2 points. Oh, sorry, that whole one, D1, is worth 1 point. So you need to have yes and that price is equal to marginal cost. For E, okay, is Grand Farm currently productively efficient? Explain again, it's 1 point for both. Okay, the answer is no, and it's not. It's because price is not at the minimum ATC. Okay, so that's E. All right, let's look at F. Okay, assume that corn. Assume that corn is an inferior good and consumers' income rises. So if corn is an inferior good and we're dealing with an increase in income, we know that inferior goods we purchase less of as income increases. So that means that people are going to purchase less corn in this instance. So if the demand for corn is going to decrease, the question now is this: would the price in the market increase, decrease, or remain the same? And explain. Okay, and this would be a great one for you just to kind of draw out a quick supply and demand curve on a piece of paper next to you, right? So we can just have supply and demand. So the demand for corn would decrease. If demand decreases, the price is going to decrease. Okay, the explanation would be that because demand decreases as incomes rise. That's worth 1 point. F2, would the price for the firm increase, decrease, or remain the same? Okay, in this case, we would say that the price for the firm would also decrease because the firm is a price taker. Okay, so they have to take the new price of the market. That's worth 1 point. And then F3, would the quantity in the firm increase, decrease, or remain the same? And explain your answer. Okay, we're going to decrease. And the reason why is this. If we look up here, okay, if you look at the Grand Farm, now obviously I know on the left-hand side here, we didn't increase supply, we're decreasing demand, but it's going to have the same impact on price. And we know that Grand Farm is now going to take a new price in the market, a lower price. Well, the farm has to produce where MR equals MC. So it's going to be the new price line where that impacts marginal cost is actually going to be lower on the marginal cost curve, which means that the firm is going to decrease its production. And your explanation is it's going to decrease production because it's going to produce where MR equals MC. And that's worth 1 point. Okay. For G, G says, assume that the price falls for the firm below their ATC. What must be true for them to continue to operate? This is making sure that you know and understand the shutdown rule. And the shutdown rule says that so long as price is greater than average variable costs, so long as we are covering our average variable costs, we should stay open. Okay, so as long as price is greater than AVC, you can stay open. Okay, and that's worth 1 point for G. And then now the last one is H. Okay, and rent is an important fixed cost for farms currently growing corn. And the industry experiences a decrease in rent. So it's going to be a decrease in their fixed cost industry-wide. Now it wants to know what's going to happen to the profit maximizing quantity. Is the firm going to produce more, less, or stay the same? Does their profit maximizing quantity change? Okay, the answer for this, and this is a 2-point question. The answer for this is it's going to stay the same. That's worth 1 point. And there's a couple acceptable ways to say it, but you can just say that fixed costs do not impact the marginal cost. Okay. So, or if you said the marginal cost is equal to the change in variable cost, that's fine. Okay. So long as you mention that fixed costs do not impact marginal cost. All right. And explain. So if you want to take a second, or you can write this down if you want to, you want to tally up all the points that you would have gotten based on your answers for those of you who are doing this. And according to the teacher who posted this on the advanced placement YouTube, now he has it at 24 points because he forgot to do F on the first problem. So if you want to eliminate F and just go off a scale of that, that's fine. He said if you got between the 21 or 24 points total between two questions, that's about a 5. 17 to 20 is the 4, and 13 to 16 is a 3. Okay, and those are obviously unofficial, but he's doing that based off of his experience kind of doing this over 20 years. All right? All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Have a great day, guys. See you later.
Have a good one. We have,
Yep.
we don't have class tomorrow, but Friday. We have office hours tomorrow.
Yes, so I have office hours. Hold on, let me pull it up. Office hours tomorrow from 11 to 11:30. But if you need me, just email me, and I can pretty much be available almost any time. And then we have class at 12:30 on Friday. So I'll post the new micro questions for us to go over, and that's what I'll be going over on Friday.
All right, cool.
All right, man.
Thanks. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
bud. Be good. You too.